Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to, I believe, as Matt just told me, the 63rd UB Zoomy session. And this week we are welcoming from Florida, the Sunshine State, Tota and Lancelot from Inner Circle, a band that go back even further than UB40, believe it or not. How are you doing, guys?
Great.
Nice to see you. And of course, we are joined by resident guests, but only just Jimmy Brown and Robin Campbell. How are you guys doing? All right?
Doing good, yeah. Beautiful day today. Florida-like weather in Birmingham.
That's good.
Happy to share.
You know, you guys
Absolutely.
get it every day, but we get one day a year. And today was it. It's today.
I'm surprised, Jimmy. I was expecting to see you outside in your garden, to be honest. I'm a bit disappointed.
It's too hot.
Only because I've got the rest of the family out there and they won't shut up while I'm online. So I left them outside.
Good. Well, as usual, for those people who are regular viewers of what has now become a Sunday regular show, Inner Circle go back a long time, and they go back a long time with UB40, but actually it's come full circle to a point where they've recently worked together. And
You did there, Paul.
just-
Yeah, that was
did you like that?
Yeah.
Full circle. That was good. That was.
Inner Circle,
Yeah.
full circle.
Yeah.
And the new single, Rebel Love, which has been recorded a few years ago now, wasn't it? But these things take time with the lockdown and everything to come out. So we'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about years gone by. We'll be listening to UB40 music, Inner Circle music, and some of the songs that inspired our friends here in Florida. So brilliant. So guys, give us a little bit of an introduction, if you will. I mean, you guys started back in the 60s. Is that right? I mean, I thought you
10
guys
years
were more
before
like
us.
late 70s, 80s, yeah?
10 years before
Well,
us. 68 was
yeah,
the start.
Yeah, 68. In 68, the Lewis brothers, as usual, these things started in high school. Everybody was in high school, so the Lewis brothers started it with some of the guys who are now, some of them still in Third World, and some of the former members of Third World. That was the original lineup of Inner Circle. So in 72, 73, I think 73, there was a parting of companies, and some of the guys leave to form Third World, and the Lewis brothers got Jacob Miller and myself. Well, even before me, they got some other guys from the university, a band that was known as Casualty. These guys were all doctors, medical students at the university. So yeah, that was even before me. I worked with them too in the studio, and eventually with Jacob Miller there, Jacob Miller came and got me interested in joining Inner Circle. So actually there were two occasions where Inner Circle asked me to come and work with them. And the first time it never really worked out, but the second time when Jacob came around, and I was friends with Jacob, it worked out, and I've been there ever since. So that was about 74, 75, somewhere around there.
Wow.
Yeah, he forgot to tell you why he left the first time. That's because he went to work with the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, well, hard to turn that one down, really, isn't it?
That's how it goes, man. Just one of those things,
Yeah. I mean, I
So
suppose,
there's
the Stones were actually they were really interested in reggae, weren't they? They were touring with Tosh, and they did a version of Cherry O Baby as well, which was like a.
Can I just say, before anybody else does, that not a lot of people know this, but the backing band for Cherry O Baby, was before Tota's days, was Inner Circle.
Definitely,
Donaldson,
definitely, yeah.
So that's
That
a
was-
song then, because
They
Inner
did the
Circle,
music on Cherry
Inner
O
Circle,
Baby.
Inner Circle with the original musicians. UB40 have done a version. Inner Circle have done a version with a slightly different title, anyway. And the
Cherry
the
Red.
Stones have done a version. Yeah, exactly.
Cherry Red, wasn't it? This Inner
Yeah,
Circle.
Yeah,
right.
but it was still the essence of that rhythm was still there, even in your version. You know, what I mean, we could recognize that, because even then I was listening to UB40 from way back then, when you guys were still playing what ska, or you started playing ska, if I remember right.
Never.
It wasn't ska. Well, it was earlier. Whatever you guys started very early.
Some of the stuff were a
there.
bit fast, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You know,
Yeah, brilliant. So it's been, well, I mean, I was surprised to hear that. I mean, it's interesting to hear that story. But of course, a lot of people know Inner Circle, I would say, from starting in the 80s, really, going into the mid 80s. And I understand from some research I did that actually a break came for you in Sweden. Was that with the song Bad Boys, where it just sort of peaked in Sweden and then went worldwide from there?
Okay. All right. Just for maybe some of our British fans, I'm going to go back a little bit earlier. In 1978, we got signed to Island Records. Yeah, that was right after, as Lance said, the Rolling Stone tour thing. We got signed to Island Records. And we actually, I think we reached number 10 or number 20 or something like that, somewhere, but we were in the top 20 on the British charts. We had this song called Everything Is Great. I don't know if anybody even remember that.
Yeah.
But it was a dance record.
Yeah.
And Music Machine also charted during those years. That was with Jacob Miller. And
Jacob Miller years.
yeah, so we
The
actually
great Jacob
started,
Miller. Yeah, man.
yeah. And we were touring Britain with Ian Dury and the Blockheads, the Average White Band, just to name those two. You know, so we were doing pretty good, playing the Polytechnics and doing all of that. And then in 1980, just when we had a very nice tour set up, about 2 months before the tour, Jacob died in a car accident.
Yeah.
So that kind of squashed that old period of and building up to that. So moving from there now into the early 80s, we started regrouping and recording. Now, Bad Boys, we recorded, the first version of Bad Boys was recorded in 1984. That's how early on it was, but it didn't actually got to radio or TV until 87. That's when the Cops TV show picked up Bad Boys, and it's still, and it took even several more years for it to become a #1 record worldwide, because it wasn't until 91 or 92 when it actually broke in Sweden.
Wow.
And it got used in the movie as well, didn't it? The Bad Boys movie, which was that was when you got your Grammy award and all of that. 93 by then, wasn't it?
Lance can tell you a lot more how it actually got involved in Bad Boys, because he was instrumental in getting that there.
Yeah, he was actually a fan of Inner Circle. When the producer, she was working on the set, and when the producers asked her, the producer said they wanted a record, and she said, I know the perfect group. So she called me. I took them a copy. They asked us if we could do a song for Bad Boys. He said, no, we're busy doing our reggae dance album. I said, whatever song is on this you like, you're welcome to it. And they called back 3 months later, said, Bad Boys perfect.
Wow. I think it's funny, isn't it? My observations of speaking with UB40 for many weeks now is that as brilliant as any band can be, Inner Circle, UB40 or anybody else, everybody just sometimes needs to be in the right place at the right time and just ride that wave of luck. And UB40 had a similar story with Red Red Wine, how it was a hit in the early 80s and then by chance it became a hit in the late 80s in the US. And it's a similar story with their hit I Can't Help Falling in Love, the Elvis cover, where that became a hit by chance through a movie. So these stories are absolutely brilliant. But the TV show Cops, which a few people might, I mean, I remember that growing up when we had 4 channels plus Sky One, and it was, you know, we imported that show in the UK, and that's where I know it from. So is it the film, or was it the program that really propelled that, or was it Sweden?
TV series first, then the movie.
Yeah, I think what happened was the program did good by us, you know. But I think when we got to Sweden, and this is another story you want to hear.
Yep.
We were touring every year. We'd come to Europe, you know what I mean? About January 3rd, we'd come and do a 6 to 8 week tour of Europe. I mean, including the UK. We were in Austria and working in this club in Austria, and somebody came and said, "Hey, you guys have a big hit in Sweden." And we said, "Yeah, what are you talking about? Big hit? You mean a hit over the head?" He says, "No, man, I'm serious. You guys have a big hit in Sweden." So we thought he was joking. About 2 days later, we got a call saying, "Hey, you guys need to come to Sweden now. Drop anything you're doing and come to Sweden now." So we drove up to Sweden. You know, we drove from Austria, drove to Sweden, and found out the record was really a massive radio hit there, but there was no record in the store. What had happened, there was a couple of years earlier, a producer asked us to send the tape to him, and he wanted to distribute it. But we sent him the tape. He never got back to us with a deal or so. He actually put the record out, and it got massive review at radio. And radio played it, and there was no record in the store. So when we got to Sweden, it was a big hullabaloo, you know what I mean? And we went to his place. The guy called the cops on us. You believe that? The man called the cops on us. Yeah, he did. Luckily enough, he's speaking in Swedish, and we had a Nigerian friend of ours who was there who understood Swedish. And I guess the guy didn't know all this. He figured, oh, these guys will understand what I'm telling the cops. The Nigerian guys start translating everything. And it just so happens that the tape, back then, I was doing a lot of engineering. The actual tape that he had my handwriting on it. Wow. Everything, because I was the engineer on the session. It had all my handwriting. And I said, hey, that's my handwriting. That's our tape right there. Argument was done. The police said, here, take your tape and go. Right. That's how it became a massive. It started in Sweden. Inner Circle became a Swedish Jamaican band. If there's ever
Sweden.
Yeah, because we got signed to Warner Music Sweden, but they put us on a label that was only supposed to release domestic records. And we became the big fish in the small pond.
Wow. Well, what a great story. And I think it's about time on that note that we played the new single. And I think what we'll do is we'll have a listen to it. Because what we've noticed through the weeks, guys, is that UB40 have a tendency to forget many records that they've made. So I think we should play it first, and then we can talk about it afterwards. So I'm going to mute everybody out. Matt's going to play the new single, Rebel Love, UB40, Within a Circle. Let's roll it, Matt.
You still think I'll rebel love in a circle alongside UB40. I can find a sweet, sexy shanty. Do it. She's my rebel love, sent from up above. Lazy as can be, just like me. See my deed. She's my rebel love, sent from up above. She's the one that I adore. She's got the love of Jah for sure. champion. The do's and the don'ts, a crazy love situation. I'm going, I'm staying, I'm hurting. May God me never listen to what they say. It could be all over, 'cause my heart is crying out for her. And this a baby girl I discover. 'Cause sometimes we happy and sometimes we sad. Sometimes this girl you gets me so mad. One look, two look, turn the plums into a smile. A big man thing with lots of pattern and style. You are my number one girl. The two and we together for a tour of the world. More precious than the diamonds and the rubies and the pearls. You are my superb girl, girl. She's my rebel love, sent from up above. Crazy as can be, just like me, same idea. She's my rebel love, sent from up above. She's the one that I adore. She's got the love of Jah for sure. She's my rebel love. She's my rebel love. She's my rebel love, sent from up above.
Brilliant, guys. Great to hear that. Just a reminder for everybody watching on Facebook and any other social media channel that this stream is about to cut, and the only way to continue watching is to get across to the UB40 app, which is very straightforward to do these days. And if you've not got it, you're in trouble. Isn't that right, Robin?
Download. Get it now.
Right.
So yeah, great to hear that song. So, Robin, how